Hey everyone, it's Laurie from Cook Scrap Craft, and I've got a 2-pager for you, and it's very timely. These are my Elf on the Shelf pictures, or some of them, from 2023. These were all the pictures that I took in November because I know you probably associate Elf on the Shelf with the month of December, but I think technically the elf is supposed to arrive right after Thanksgiving. I don't know if it has to be the day after Thanksgiving, but that was always my understanding. So when we got our elf through my job, I was like, I guess we're going to bring it out the day after Thanksgiving. So that's what we did. So there were a couple little fun things that I did with the elf at the end of November that year. And then the bulk of the elf stuff, like it was tied to advent calendar things throughout the month of December. So that's that. And if you do your elf differently, let me know how you do it in the comments down below. My daughter knows that I'm the elf, but she still wants me to do it. So I'll see what I can come up with for this year. I actually did a little bit of prep last year at the end of the holiday season. I found a bunch of on sale Christmas things at Michael's. So I'm going to be pulling those out to use for advent calendar stuff. And then I've got a whole Pinterest. My Christmas Pinterest board is mainly these days just Elf on the Shelf ideas. So that's where I go. And that's also where I went to find inspiration for this layout. I don't think I've done this layout design before. It's a layout by Christy B. And I'll try to find that in my Pinterest so that I can link it for you. But essentially, it's 2 pages. So I've got this yellow cardstock in the background. Doesn't seem very Christmassy, but the paper that I'm using, the pattern paper, which is from Doodlebug, has some pinks and yellows and greens and very non-traditional Christmas colors in it. So I was trying to match the colors in that. So there's, I think it was a Christmas cookie decorating collection. I'm not sure what it was called, and I don't even know if you can still get it. But there's like sprinkles. That's the pattern paper that's on the top. And then on the bottom, there's it looks like little cookies, like little decorated cookies, Santa heads and gingerbread men and that kind of thing along a pink background. So I'm doing the sprinkles as a border up on the top of the photos, and then the cookies on the bottom of the photos. And all of these photos are not cut down to size. They all get to stay 4x6. They were all vertical orientation, and this layout was perfect for using vertical orientation photos. I think technically I could have cut down the ones in the middle and made them a little bit smaller if I had wanted to. The way that I kind of drew out the sketch from Christie's layout, it kind of almost looks like and maybe it's just the way I drew it, but it almost looks like you could do 4x4 photos in the center. So if you had some vertical photo or horizontal photos, you could just cut those down and bring everything smaller in the center of the page, but then still have 2 4x6s on the edge. And also my 4x6s, they're definitely 4 across, but for some reason they are not 6 all the way down. So I did have to cut off a little bit of the yellow cardstock. So I'm positive that the yellow cardstock is 12x12. But the photos, when they print out from Shutterfly, they're just not exactly 6 inches. Whatever. So I just trimmed a little bit on the edge there. So it's still going to fit fine in a page protector. I'm not that worried about it. But I was just getting kind of tired of always having either in between the 2 4x6 photos, a little line of the cardstock peeking up from behind. I was just tired of that. And so I said, you know what, I'm just gonna trim from the end, and so be it. So I've also taken some of this paper here. This is still from the Doodlebug collection, and I made a little banner per the original layout. And then there's also these cool tags. I'm going to use one of those to put the title on. And I'm also fussy cutting out some cupcakes. And I'm doing that because our elf's name is Cupcake. And when I saw that there was a border strip of cupcakes in this pattern paper, I said, I'm going to cut those out, fussy cut them with my small scrapbook.com sharp scissors, and use those as embellishments because I didn't really have a whole lot of embellishments. I would actually say that I did have a fair amount of Christmas embellishments, but they were all traditional Christmas colors: the red, the green, a cream instead of white, and there's white in this pattern paper. And so I don't really like mixing cream and white. It just all wasn't going to fit together properly. So what I did, there's a little yellow chipboard embellishment that says observations. I think that's from, actually, no, it's not chipboard. It's a puffy sticker from American Crafts. That I think was just kind of something that had been left out on my desk. So I just grabbed it because it was yellow and it matched. And so I'm using that. The fussy cut cupcake. And then I don't remember where I got these. I think someone may have sent them to me last year, but they're adhesive little mini gift bows. So I grabbed a couple of those and I'm going to use those as embellishments on this side of the page and the other side of the page too. I'm trying to keep this very simple because I know I don't have a lot of supplies. I know I don't have a lot of embellishments. So I don't want to try to like do too much. And also there's a lot of photos on the page. So I don't want to take away too much from the way that the photos look. And I don't want to detract your eye from what's really important, which are the pictures. So on these pictures, there's a little note. Our elf was sent to me prior to Thanksgiving. I think we might have gotten it in like October. And so it was kind of out and about. My daughter saw it. She knew what it was. But, you know, for the magic that year, the elf has to go away and report back to the North Pole and then like officially come back. So I just wrote a little note that said, I have to return to Santa. I'll be back soon, just so that she knew where it was. You can do the same thing for your kids as well. She was probably 7. I think she was 7 when we got this elf. There's a book that you read together as well. I think that must be with our Christmas books. I hope I still remember where that is. But then they also have a lot of other accessories and like pet things. We have this North Pole, like Arctic fox thing, and it came with a book. And I just saw it at Kohl's. It's a really cute Elf on the Shelf accessory set. It's like a travel set. So I don't know, you're not supposed to play with the elf, but I guess you can use it for setting up a scene. But it has this cute like neck pillow for him or her. Your elves can be boys or girls. There's a neck pillow for them to use as though they're gonna like go to sleep on a plane or something. It was just really cute. I don't necessarily buy all of the accessories. I just kind of try to create scenes with what I have at home. But let me know how you do it in the comments. And while you are taking a break from watching this and commenting and hitting on other things, why don't you hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already? I haven't been posting as many process videos and scrappy videos as I would like to. This video I had actually intended on doing for off the board last month, but it didn't quite make it. So it's going up now, and that's fine. I was having trouble editing the photos of the layouts and whatever. So yeah, that's how life goes sometimes. But if you want to subscribe in case I do post something and you don't want to miss out, definitely do so, and give this video a like, because every little like helps. So this side of the page is a little bit different. Instead of having 2 4x6 photos on top of each other on the very edge, they're in the middle. And I'm looking at this and I feel it's very familiar to me, but I really don't think I've done this layout before. I don't think I've scrap lifted this before, but maybe I have. I don't know. But in place of some banners per the original layout, I'm going to use more of these tags because they're really cute. One of them has a cupcake on it, which again is very fitting because that's our elf's name. I did ink the edges of it with some black ink just because the yellow on yellow, you want it to stand out a little bit more. And then the bottom one is blank. That's where I'm going to end up doing some journaling. So again, on this page, 4 4x6 photos on each side of this layout. I think that's pretty good. I mean, I'm happy with it. And I think what really helps me is when I have my photos printed and I look through some inspiration pictures on Pinterest to figure out the best way to scrapbook the photos that I have. It just really helps before I sit down to try to figure out what to do if I have a plan in advance. And it also helps, like some of the stuff that I was posting last month, I purchased specific papers and embellishments for those photos. And I did that based on the sketches that I had. And that really helped as well, so that I'm not purchasing too many things. I'm not spending too much money on scrapbook supplies. I'm purchasing exactly what I need. It's a little bit slower of a process, unfortunately. I'm hoping to get some scrappy stuff for Christmas, but we'll see. But I am still really far behind. These were, like I said, November 2023 photos. I already did my December 2023. I did that earlier this year. So now, like, we're ending 2025, but I still have all of 2024 and all of 2025 to scrapbook. So I'm very far behind. Part of me kind of wants to go out of order because I do have some stuff that I could use to scrapbook, like the summer 2024 vacation photos or some camping and hiking photos. But I don't like to scrapbook out of order because then I feel like all my stuff gets messed up. So I don't know. Let me know what you prefer to do in the comments down below. This whole page took me about half an hour to put together. And that does not include like the time to sketch out the design inspiration or anything. That was all done in advance. But just sitting down, pulling all my Christmas stuff, the whole thing took about half an hour. And of course, this is sped up, so it's about, half that time. So I just want you to realize that sometimes scrapbooking isn't super fast, especially when you're doing 2-page layouts and especially when you have a lot of photos. Sometimes it can take some time. But on this side, I also used more of those little mini bows, cut out more of the little cupcakes for embellishments. I'm doing my journaling down there at the bottom, just talking a little bit about, our elf and how this was our first year with the elf. So I hope that you see in some of these photos, I hope that the scrapbook page gives you inspiration. And then I also hope that seeing some of these elf photos gives you some inspiration for things that your elf could be doing. Here's some close-ups so that you see things in a little bit more detail. Like I said, there's not a whole lot going on here because there are so many photos, not a lot of embellishments. The Believe sticker was old, very old American Crafts. It was out on my desk and I was like, this is perfect. I'm going to use it. So, even if your desk is messy, it's all out there for you for inspiration to be used on another layout. So it's not really messy. It's where it's supposed to be. Bye.